Here we are back at GTA Group 1 Session 7. Had a quick little lunch break there and we're back on track. This is going to be Group 1. Drivers have been rushing and scrapping, trying to make it back on track. We have Amir Bentatu followed by Daijiro Yoshihara. The Renner Racing Development car is back out. Damien is out here and ready to lay down a flyer, along with Kevin Burke in his Honda S2000. I think Amir probably has the roughest day of everyone on these shortened time frames. He has to run the BMW, and then right after that, someone has to get his NSX up here on grid so he can make it out for that car also. This is the Ray Guerrero and Zachary Sober Viper. They are being held. If you don't make the call to grid, you are held an entire lap. We don't want to put you out in front of someone's flyer, so we allow the people who went out on time to get a flying lap in before they get sent out. Damien did miss the last two sessions. I'm not sure if that was by choice or if they were trying to fix something, but it does look like we have a little bit of smoke. That's going to be a aborted lap. Damien has been chasing first place. He's within half a second of the leaders right now. It is Amir, followed by Will Dries, and now Damien. It does look like Damien's putting it off in the dirt after Riverside, so he probably feels he may be leaving fluid on the track, or he's allowing these cars to pass before he finishes his inbound lap. Damien knows this track really well, so he does know where the cutouts are. He does have the ability to cut past Phil Hill, go straight through just to get back in. He also knows where to put a car to make sure that he does not impede someone else's lap. Where he is right now is safe. He is going to make sure that he is not blocking anybody. He's not somewhere where another car can end up. I believe he sees fire though, so he is going to go ahead and get that hood popped, and he's going to try and put that fire out. Confirmed. We have fire. Confirmed. We're going to get fire and safety over there ASAP. This is going to be a red flag session. Safety is already almost to him, cutting through Riverside right now. We had the safety car cut through half the track. The good thing about Buttonwillow Fire and Safety is they know every way around this track. You're about to see the fire truck, fire marshal pull up right behind Damien. Whatever it was, obviously it was something small, luckily, because a fire like this could really engulf a car quickly. Damien did use his entire fire extinguisher from what it looks like the driver's side, so he may have stopped it quickly enough, or it could just be a small oil issue that was smoking and didn't quite fire up yet. We got Damien's car off track quickly. It looks like we're going to be able to at least allow them a few more laps in their session. There's Damien's car being pulled to his garage. Once again, hopefully it's nothing too serious. This team works really hard to get out here and compete with us. They are another small operation. A lot of people online watch these teams with these beautiful cars and think it must be some huge shop with a multitude of money running these teams, but Renner's just another small shop using everything they have to build an amazing car to compete. So we hope the best for them. We hope it's nothing too serious. While our other cars are doing a warm-up lap to go ahead and reset, let's go over what was able to be done. We have Amir with a 145.549, followed by Dye with a 147.065. Kevin Burke, obviously with a 250, wasn't able to complete a lap, so he's going to want to go out there and push as hard as he can. There's Kevin Burke in his S2000. And here we have Amir in the Motorsport Hardware LSM3 starting another flyer, being followed by Zachary Sober in the Dodge Viper. Kevin Burke about to lay a real lap time. I'm sure he doesn't like seeing a 2:49 on the board. He did mention to me how every time before the brake zone into sunrise and the brake zone into sunset, he does look down to make sure his ABS light isn't on. After all the issues he's had in this car, he says the last thing he needs is a severe brake failure again. So I'm sure that's still weaning in the back of his mind, but he has been pushing this car harder and harder every session. He did tell me finally, something he doesn't admit to people on the internet, that after driving this car with the sequential, with the amazing suspension and the fun motor setup, that this has become his favorite car to drive. He would always tell people his favorite car to drive was his C7 because he could drive it to the track, run mid-40s and drive it home. But the potential of this S2000 and everything they've put into it, this has become his favorite car to drive. Amir just a skosh slower than he was on that last lap with a 45.9. Ray Guerrero and Zach Sober with a 46.2, really pushing it. He was keeping up with Amir very well through that lap, so I'm not sure if they just found more pace in that car or they picked up a few things here and there, but that Viper really is singing. Kevin Burke with a 151.3. Followed by Mike King with a 50.2. Mike King has already broken into the 40s, so he's going to have to pick up just a little bit of time. Got Nick Hayes in that beautiful M4, the RS Future Art of Attack M4 that was freshly built, laying down a 150 on his first lap. For such a fresh car and basically no time to really dial it in, we do expect a lot of fast laps out of that car in the future. Very, very sketchy entrance into Sunset. You know, they did a 46 last lap and they were finding speed, and that's the thing. Sunset is one of those corners that when you're on a really hot lap, you just want to push the limits. But as we've already seen here, pushing the limits on Sunset could push the limits on your entire day. Well, Amir, after setting his 45 lap in Group 1, is out in Group 2, leading out with his NSX. His fastest lap in that car is in the 46s right now. New setup, new engine. Beautiful new front end also, but we know that car has plenty more time in it. If they have figured out the steering issues, which his electronic rack was kind of pulling too much amperage for the battery, we think it was more of a dead battery situation than a actual electronic issue, because when they replaced the battery, the problem seemed to have fixed itself. He was going into bus stop, and as he started to turn in, the car lost power steering, and he had a nice little off around 90, 100 miles an hour. Luckily, there was no damage to the vehicle, no damage to the front end, no damage to the aero, so he's going to go out there and keep pushing. We also have quite a few other competitors pushing out right now. This is Group 2, Session 7. Group 2, Session 7. So we got Amir, followed by Kyle Robinson, then Christopher Mayfield, Jose Mejia in his Civic Type R, Gabriel Shadid, John Vo and Tom Tang in the Lotus Exige, Jason Chin in the 911, Austin Shipley and Jackie Ding in the Supra, Robert Robles in his M3, Jarek Javier in his M3, Cameron Parsons in his Civic Type R, Rick O'Donnell in that Opel Manta A. right, so we have Amir about to finish his lap, turning in on Sunset. Let's see if he can top his fastest lap time of this event. 45.771. There it is. So now he's got two cars in the 45s. This car did set the overall street record in the 44s at the last event, but obviously that was a car that was tested and proven last year. Having switched engine suppliers and switched builds completely before this event due to his catastrophic in Long Beach, he himself did not see the record being broken again, but as I said earlier, he didn't see himself doing a 44 either last year, so I'm not really one to bet against what the car could possibly do. Jose Mejia owns the street front-wheel drive record with a 150 XXX. He's doing a 51.368 right now, so he's about a second off of his own personal record. I'm sure you caught Amir's lap earlier where he got really squirrely through the truck stop, bus stop complex. So I'm sure there's more time in this car, but as his setup continues to change and as his driving continues to change, he just has to find that perfect balance between the two. A little bit of hip action there coming out of Sunset. That really has been the most exciting area of this track. You know, in the last few years, the most exciting area usually is bus stop because people are pushing so hard through bus stop. But bus stop has become the less of two evils because Sunset is the place where everyone's trying to gain their time. We've had more cars off in Sunset this year than the last 2 years combined. Also, though, we are seeing faster lap times every year, so it does make sense that people are now pushing other areas of the track. Sunrise is just as tricky of a corner. The biggest difference is when you cook it too hard into Sunrise, being turn one, you just end up deep in the dirt. Where Sunset, the way it's banked, if you come in a little too hot and you just don't hit it right, it can kick you around. There's Christopher Mayfield right there in his car 941 BMW. Nice little slide out of Sunset. The thing is, you're going to see that all day. People are always going to have a little bit of tail happiness in a rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive car out of Sunset. It's when you push it super deep into that corner where you see things go awry. The level of skill in these competitors, though, I completely understand why so many people are pushing it. These are not your everyday driver, your track star, your HPDE guy. These guys are out here specifically pushing for their fastest laps. So things like offs, things like little slides here and there, it's just part of the course. So as we have drivers coming in, finishing their hot laps, let's go over the times of this session. We have Amir leading the session with a 1:45.771. Kyle Robinson with a 1:50.308. Christopher Mayfield with a 1:50.744. Jose Mejia with a 1:51.368. John Vo and Tom Tang in that Lotus Exige K-Series powered Lotus, a 1:51.454. Jarek Javier with a 1:53.105. Robert Robles with a 1:54.137. Jason Chin in that Porsche 911 GT3 RS at a 1:54.832. And then Austin Shipley at a 1:55.0. Austin's fastest lap time in that car is a 1:53, and Jackie Ding's is a 1:52. So Austin's doing a great job keeping up with Jackie Ding in that car. He's picked up a lot because just between his fastest lap in this car yesterday early versus yesterday afternoon was 3 to 4 seconds faster. Final two cars on track right now are going to be Mr. O'Donnell and Tom Tang in the Lotus. We have a LS powered Opel and a K Series powered Lotus out there pushing their lap times and trying to see if they can lower them anymore. Mr. O'Donnell is a local to Willow Springs. I've seen his car out at Big Willow and Streets many a time. Tom Tang is no stranger to Time Attack nor the track itself. He has owned quite a few incredible wheel-to-wheel cars and Time Attack cars. So these are two people that have no problem pushing their limits lap after lap. You know, the biggest issue with this track is you guys never actually get to see it when it's green. We're always here at Buttonwillow in November. GTA Finals, before that Super Lab battle, was always run the week after SEMA. So these drone shots are showing these amazing views, but then you're just looking at dirt. If you ever get to see Buttonwillow in the spring, in the beginning of the summer, before fall, everything that's brown is green, and it just looks like a completely different track. It would almost be awesome to run here in the earlier part of the year, but that would not be GTA Finals. We did run here earlier in a Pro-Am style event. It was a 2-day event shared with SCCA, and seeing this track green was awesome. I hope if you're ever local and have a chance to drive this track, one, you'll see why the drivers like it so much. It looks so simple, but it's just there to test everything you are as a driver. And it's just really nice to see this track green. And here we are, Group 3, Session 7, going back on track, being led out by Craig Coker in his Model 3 performance. He was leading enthusiast class for about 2 minutes until Noah Geither went out and finished his lap. He did a 56.1 followed by Noah Geither's 55.5. So he has about 0.6 of a second to take off to try and take the lead back. Noah did not go back out in his previous session. After lunch, he got bumped up to Group 2, the very back of it, because of his time delta. So we'll see what Craig lays down and if Noah goes back out to fight that lap time. Noah's also within a couple tenths of the actual enthusiast overall record. So there is a good chance that he'll want to go back out and take that, but I'm sure he's excited being in the 55s. That right there is Craig Coker really pushing the limits of his Model 3. He had a pretty rough off right there through the bus stop complex. We're going to make sure you guys see what's going on with that lap. After this session, we want to make sure we push the times, let you know who is where in the standings. That was a great shot of Benjamin Sue going through Sunset in his Evo 9. That was a setup lap. He had fastest lap of the session is a 59.345. That was a 222. We have Jonathan Lugode leading this session with a 156.778, followed by Rich Enriquez with a 158.763. Jonathan Lugode is in that ND Miata. Obviously not a car we see much of in Time Attack right now, but it is a very, very great chassis. The NA and MB Miata are probably the two most tracked cars on the planet. It's just kind of a fact. But the NC has become much more popular, and as the car becomes more easily attainable for the average consumer, the ND you're seeing a lot more of. The ND obviously being such a new model, and you know the price point with it, any new model to build a Time Attack style car, it takes time, but we're seeing more and more of them out here. Right there you got Corey Kreider in his Subaru hatchback, he's been pushing some very fast lap times in his class. His fastest of this session is a 2-minute, but he's sub 2 minutes while driving. Lugode is leading this session. We also have Mark Yeager at a 2-minute 5.92 in his Mustang. We got Michael Klein at a 1:59.480 in his Subaru WRX. Aaron Gong at a 2-minute .204 in his Toyota 86 or Subaru BRZ. Unmute. That was a nice little recovery right there. That is one of the highest speed sections when you're talking about cornering. When you exit caught in corners, you're basically trying to stay matted all the way to bus stop, carry as much speed as you can through bus stop, and once again matted through Riverside all the way to Phil Hill. So when you're talking about twitchy cars or cars in general getting a little sideways, that's a very common area. You don't really see people lose it there very often, as there's a lot of recovery space, but when they do lose it through that area, it is spectacular. There you go. Good shot of Mr. Aaron Gong going through the bus stop at fastest lap of a 1:59.728. I'm going to go over a couple things in words. We'll put it up on the screen later, but let's see what's going on with these drivers, these times. This is Group 3, Session 7. We still have an entire set of groups to go one more time. It has not gotten hot. It has actually been a beautiful day out here. The ambient temperature is still in a comfortable place. It's somewhere around 70 degrees. I believe it's actually still in the 60s right now. The sun is not heating up the track too bad, so let's see where we're at. I'm going to go enthusiast up. So in enthusiast class, Noah Geither not only reset the front wheel drive record at a 55.5, he is also fastest in class. Craig Coker, that beautiful Model 3 performance that went off in bus stop during his section, 156.187, also an all-wheel drive record. We have Jeffrey Ting at a 56.9 holding down third place on the podium. Benjamin Su, who's out there right now with a 58.3, being his fastest lap of the event. Got Aaron Gong at a 58.9 with his fastest lap of the event. Coming up in street class, we got Amir Bentatu holding down with a 146.378. Mike Kang in second place with a 149.867. And Kyle Robinson and Gabriel Cabrera in their A90 Supra JMP AutoWorks car holding down the third podium spot. They are being hunted by Christopher Mayfield. He is only 3/10 off taking that podium spot away. So we have one more session of their group going out where they could possibly take it back. I know everybody out here is pushing hard to try and get the fastest laps that they can. While we're looking here on grid, we do see that beautiful S2000 of Jesse Silinski. He has not been able to hit the lap times that he's done in practice. He's been having some cooling issues yesterday. We did see him go off track, but I know he wants to go out there and show what that car can do. That car has some incredible work done to it. More than that, he's a great driver. So whatever issues he's running into, hopefully they can go ahead and sort that out. Behind him in that Volkswagen, that'd be Brandon Luthi. He's traveled across the states with us for 2 seasons now. He actually towed here from one of the Carolinas. I wish I remembered which one, but I just know he stopped by the shop, picked up some tents for us, and brought them down here. So Brandon Luthi, big shout out. Thanks for supporting us for so long. Let's go ahead and bump up to limited class, see where we're sitting here. Leading limited class is Amir Bentatu with a 145.386 in the Motorsport Hardware LSM3. Behind him, Will Dries in the WRD Racing Honda Prelude with a 145.479, and Damian Tuchinishki in third with a 146.8. The downside is both Will Dries and Damian, we won't see them again. Will Dries put a hole in the motor, oiled up Sunset on the first lap. Luckily, it was nothing more serious than that, and they were able to get it off. And Damian's car had a small engine fire that we saw right at the beginning of his session. So as it stands, Amir is going to lead limited class. We don't know if he's going to go back out and set a faster time, but he's holding it down with a 45.3. Unlimited class, we got Sean Cagle in his Chevrolet Corvette FRC with a 41.3. Hopefully we see him go out one more time. The last time he went out, he was incapable of setting a lap. I don't know if a mistake happened or he just saw something he wasn't comfortable with, so he shut her down. Daijiro Yoshihara in second place with a 46.240 in that evasive Honda S2000. And Wes and Marissa Hansen in third with a 47.1. How it stands, their first trip here to Buttonwillow with GTA, they're about to get a podium. Sadly, we did lose some heavy hitters in unlimited class during practice. Sean Cagle in that 9-liter Viper has a pinhole with about a 1/8 size hole in his engine. No one knows where it came from. He was dealing with some misfire issues, and when they went and put it up and took a look at it, they found a very small hole in the block. So they had to call it a weekend before the weekend even started. That's probably one of the hardest parts of coming here and practicing. You obviously want to set the fastest lap that you can. You want a little bit of practice time, but it really hurts when you hurt the car before the car can set an actual time that is recorded. In fourth and unlimited, we have Leaf Store. He is a 47.449, but I have not seen him for a few sessions, so I don't know if he's coming back out to lay down another lap. He was so close to the podium, to the Hansens, but it does look like we are going to see those set unless Leaf comes out one more time. Gabriel Shadid in our favorite grocery getter BMW E90 M3 sitting in fifth. This gridded up right now. This is going to be Group 4, Session 7. Again, Group 4, Session 7. That is the third session of today for this group. As soon as the cars on track get around and ready to go off, they will send these vehicles. Looks like we have one of our last cars going across start finish. We're going to make sure no one else is on track. Usually by the time they hit Riverside or just past it, they send them out. That way they can give them as much track time as possible on this shortened schedule. Here we are, guys, Group 4, Session 7. This is going to be the second to last run of Group 4. We're going to have 4 more run groups after this. It's going to be 1 through 4 one more time. Anyone who's trying to set a fast lap, they're really running out of an event. Some of these times are very close in their classes. So All it takes is a little bit here and a little bit there, and you may be back on the podium, or you may be up a few spaces. Some of these are within the tenths, so a lot of the 1 through 3rds in these classes are just within a second. You know, a quick little thing here or there, or a lack of a mistake. If you see your lap time, say you're sitting in 3rd in class and you made a mistake on a couple corners, and all it takes is cleaning that up here and there, that might get you further up. Here we have an R32 Skyline being driven by Jake Graham. It's always good to see the Godzilla on the street. That was actually Will Long, I apologize. This Lancer Rally Art, this is going to be the only one you see on track this time. This is being driven by Zach Lumsden. This is the son of the father-son duo with the 2 Lancer Rally Arts. Behind him is Justin Bayless in that borrowed Miata. And here is Dr. Black, Robert Medina. He did tow all the way here from Mexico to run with us. He has also towed all the way to New Jersey in this car to run with us. So that's a lot of love. Behind him is Rob Campbell in his Mustang GT. There's Nick Bright in his Spoon Sports Accord Euro R. There's Robert Medina with a quick wheel off. The whole Cotton Corner section, I've been talking about it all weekend. Anyone that's driven here knows. You're trying to carry as much speed out of Cotton as possible, but you can get really antsy at the top. Try to carry too much speed in. It gets you offline. He actually touched an outside rear tire on the dirt, and it just whipped him around immediately. These are the little things you learn at Buttonwillow. Robert has not spent a lot of time here. He has been spending the time learning the track and trying to lay down some fast laps, but that's not only a rough one, that's also a wheel breaker. You have an off right there, you hit it hard enough coming off of that area, you can definitely shatter a wheel or bend it. We also had another incident with Jose Mejia in his Art of Attack Civic Type R, where he went through sweeper a little bit off angle, ended up hitting the driver's side rear off the track, and he actually bent that wheel and got rid of all the air in it. Set his fastest lap on a wheel that was significantly bent. It was so bent that coming through Sunset onto the straight, it actually popped the side skirt off the car because of all the vibrations. So right now, Zach Lumsden is the fastest on track with a 206.226, the son of the father-son duo with the Lancer Rally Arts, followed by Jake Graham at a 206, and then Nick Bright at a 206. Will Long in that R32 GTR with a 207. Here comes Rob Campbell, ready to go across start-finish. Rob with a 211.947, followed by Don Brown in his Subaru STI with a 208.137. Don Brown did run with us at SLB in a different Subaru chassis, so it's good to see him out here still competing. Brandon Luthi with a 208.868. There's Jesse Silinski in his Honda S2000. It's good to see him out here. This car has done some very fast lap times in testing, but it just seems like it hasn't been able to be put together for this event. He did have some overheating issues. He was off track with a little bit of smoke yesterday. That may have been part of the overheating issue also. Luckily, there's no real damage to the vehicle, and he's back on track. We know that he has run significantly faster in testing than he has at this event, and it's not by a small margin. So he could be dealing with some issues. Things just aren't coming together. That is probably the hardest part about a time competition. You don't get to come back tomorrow and try and set another one. So hopefully Jesse gets a little bit more out of that car so he can be happy with what's going on. There it is right there, bus stop. This is the hardest part about setting fast laps in the last sessions, guys. Everyone is pushing so hard. You're going to have people going off on bus stop. It gets bus stop dirtier. It makes the next person go off on bus stop, and it's a vicious circle. So this is why you hear competitors so often try to get their fast laps in early. It's for a few reasons. Obviously, earlier in the day, the better the track is, but the track is in great condition right now. Temperature-wise, it's not too warm outside. It's in the high 60s. The sun is not crazy bright. It's not very hot, so ambients are good. Track temps are good. Got Jake Graham just going to cross start finish about 2/10 off of his fastest. This is a car we haven't seen much of on stream. It's been a little up and down getting it there, but it is a beautiful Subaru WRX. His fastest lap time of this event so far is a 2:01.6. He just did a 2:03.9, and the lap before that was a 2:02.7. So he's staying pretty consistent, but the car looks great. It's not too bad going out there. Jesse Silinski at a 2:01, still significantly off his personal fastest laps here, but it's good to see the car still setting laps. Whatever issues they've run into, we know that he'll be back setting faster laps. He's been putting a lot of work into that program, and there's no doubt in my mind we're going to see him back out here setting some very, very competitive lap times. Nick Bright at a 2:02.3, second in this session. Here's that beautiful Subaru WRX by Jake Graham, car number 55. There's something about red cars with carbon doors. It just pops. It looks great. And here we have it. That's going to be the end of Group 4, Session 7. We're about to be at the final groups. Here we have Sean Cagle getting ready to lead out Group 1. That's going to be Sean Cagle, behind him Amir Bentatu. Behind him on screen, we have Daijiro Yoshihara. Then we have Zachary Sober in Ray Guerrero's Viper. Behind him, Kevin Burke. Can't see after that, but I'll tell you, as soon as I see him, I'll let you know who's there. These are the fastest cars on grid. I believe that's the JMP AutoWorks car. Let me get you a confirmation on that one. Nope, that's car 90 of Mike Kang in his Supra. He is currently second in street class, a 149.867. And then car 51 of Mr. Losing my train of thought, folks. Car 51 of Nick Hayes, the Art of Attack CSF RS Future BMW M4. He's been laying down some very respectable lap times in a car that was just freshly finished before SEMA with very minimal testing. So this is going to be Group 1, Session 8, getting ready to go out. Once again, Group 1, Session 8. Sean Cagle is going to lead him out. He has laid down a lap time of a 41 so far. Amir is at a 45, Dai's at a 46. Looks like we're having some good times out here. The Viper of Ray Guerrero has done a 47.5 and Kevin Burke at a 48.7. All right, well, here we have it. It looks like Sean Cagle has pulled in. He is not going to set a flyer. Once again, it's very odd for him not to do a lap. That's why the last run group, I figured he had a small issue. So Amir Bentatu is leading out this session, followed by Daijiro Yoshihara, and then Zachary Sober in that Dodge Viper. Amir is leading the limited class in that car with a 45. This Viper is also in that class, about 2 seconds behind. Ray Guerrero and Zach Sober to 47.5. Amir's at a 45.3. Ray, if he could pull off about 8 tenths, he could take third place from Damian Tuchinishki. It is Zach Sober driving at this moment. There's Kevin Burke, who's been wheedling out time of that car every single session. He's taken almost a second out every session. Mike Kang in his A90 Supra has not picked up more time since his fastest lap, so hopefully he can lay it down now. Dye always looks so composed in this car. You see him scraping there. Ooh, little counterlock. That was a great recovery. You're entering bus stop in those cars around 90-ish plus miles an hour, so he came in, gave it the proper amount of reverse lock, and kept it straight. Not the fastest way through bus stop, but a way to keep the lap going. Here we have a shot of Kevin Burke. He's about to, there's the right curb, taking the left through bus stop, using up all the track, barely touching the dirt with the right rear. He is somewhat of a Buttonwillow connoisseur. He's written many guides on how to drive this track. He himself has helped drivers go fast here. Let's see if he can make himself go faster. There's Nick Hayes in his BMW M4 taking the same corner. We're waiting to see Amir and Dye come around that last corner, hopefully setting. Ooh, Amir's coming in the pits, but here's Dye. Looks like Amir's going fast in the hot pits too, so he may have had an off. Dai Yoshihara with a 146.334. That is about a tenth off his fastest. Amir is coming in with the BMW. It does look like he was not going to gain any time, so he's going to go ahead and drop that car off and get ready to come out in his NSX, try and lay down a flyer in that one. His NSX is in the next run group, so we don't have to worry about him trying to get into another car immediately. There's the JMP AutoWorks A90 Supra. This car is sitting in third place overall with a 150.279 in street class. Sorry, third place in street class. That's driven by Kyle Robertson and Gabriel Cabrera. They are about 5 tenths off of second place. If Kyle Robertson and Gabriel Cabrera could pull something sub 149.867, they will be able. Ooh, 149.534. Mike Kang has surpassed his fastest lap. They would need almost a full second to pass Mike Kang for third place, but if Mike Kang can go faster in this session, that means so can they. The track is still very happy. The lap times are still dropping, so we do have plenty of time here for Group 2 to go out and surpass some times. Kyle Robertson and Gabriel Carrera have been very, very consistent in that A90 Supra, the JMP AutoWorks car, so I don't see them having an issue laying it down. All it takes, like we've always talked about, is cleaning up a few things here or there. With all of the corners on this track and all the places you can carry speed, picking up a couple tenths here and there is not unheard of. We've seen drivers pick up a second in the final session after cleaning everything up. Nick Hayes with a 159.63 on his first lap. He's still pushing hard. Kevin Burke with a 50.7. He's already run a 48 in that car. Mike Kang with a 49.5. That's his fastest run of this session, of this event so far. Zach Silver with a 47.728. Dye about 6 tenths off of his fastest lap of this session. Let's see if Zach has something quicker on this lap. Looks like it's about a second off their fastest lap time there with a 48. There it was. Zachary Sober and Ray Guerrero in that Dodge Viper have overtaken third place. A 46.199 with the session almost completely over. Damian Tuchanishki has been relegated to fourth place, and he can't go out there and defend it because he did have a failure on the vehicle. Zach Sober and Ray Guerrero third place in limited class with a 46.199. Looks like limited podium is now looking like Amir Bentatu, Will Dries, and Zach Sober and Ray Guerrero in that 888 Dodge Viper Rayleigh Racing. All right, that's going to be the end of Group 1, Session 8, guys. Ray Guerrero and Zachary Sober have pushed themselves to a podium position in limited class. Third place with a 46.199. Dai Yoshihara with a 46.334. Mike Kang with a 49.5 has solidified his third place in street so far. The JMP AutoWorks boys do have the ability to take that back. That's Kyle Robertson. The JMP AutoWorks boys do have a chance to take second place for Mike Kang. They were only about 4/10 off, but now they're about 8/10 off. So they're really going to have to push that car to try and pick that up. That's going to be Kyle Robertson and Gabriel Cabrera. Also out here on grid, I see Amir, the JMP AutoWorks boys. I see Chris Mayfield, who really wants to get on the podium in street. Jose Mejia in his Art of Attack Civic Type R. Looks like we have Austin Shipley in his PhD Racing Toyota Supra, have Jarek Javier in his BMW M3, and Noah Geither with the 55.5 in enthusiast class. We're going to go ahead and shoot it over to Jason Dienhart, who is with Will Dries. Let's hear about what happened in his day.
Hey, this is Jason Dienhart here at Global Time Attack Live Buttonwillow Finals 2021. Standing here with Will Dries, driver of the WRD Honda Prelude. How's it going this weekend?
So far, so good. We ran the time that we hoped we'd run. We had some issues that we probably thought we'd have and kind of fought through them. You know, came away with a broken motor, but, you know, the team is over the moon. I think we're stepping up every time. We're going faster and faster, so we can't ask for more.
Awesome. That's awesome. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong here, but I believe that you guys bettered the limited front-wheel drive record that you already owned by about 2 seconds. So you're down to a 1:45.4 right now? That's what it is, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we came in practice. We bettered the record in practice, and let's save the car. Went out yesterday morning, did a 46, so we cut some like a second off, and then you know, obviously you start going a little bit faster. You start seeing some issues you didn't have before. Spent all day, went out again at night, went a little faster, and then this morning said, okay, we're gonna really send it. But it turns out that last session on Saturday, we hurt the motor. We got out there in the morning, you know, let's turn everything to 11, see what happens. We got 600 feet from glory, and it decided to give up. So yeah, it's a big bummer, but I'm glad no one hit our oil and then hit each other. That was a big concern.
Yep. Yeah, I actually do got to talk to team owner Corey about the money that he owes us for the bags that they had to use over here at Buttonwillow. Yeah, I think it comes out to about $50. But anyways, you know, that's the name of the game. That's what happens in time attack racing. Everybody's pushing it to the limit. You've been in this game for a long time. Anybody that knows racing probably knows Will. What can you tell us about this track? I know you're somewhat of a local, like myself, Southern California. What can you tell the people out there that haven't been to Buttonwillow before? Why do we come back here every year? Why do we deal with what we deal with, burn motors down, whatnot, just to come back next year and try to get this special time here? What is it about Buttonwillow?
This place really is the benchmark track for SoCal. I mean, for the whole West Coast, really, and even bleeding into the East Coast. A lot of people, you know, hey, what's your car do at Buttonwillow 13, even if not from California? So, a lot of it's bragging rights, but a lot of it is this place is it's real special. It's been around for 15 years or so, and kind of since the beginning. I was here opening day, and since the beginning, it was like, man, that you could just go drive there, you could just go fast. So. It's cool to come out with a group of guys that are all, you know, everyone has the same goal. For us, we just try and go faster ourselves every time, and where we land is where we land. But it's just to, you know, it's a real, like, to hit sub 50 and then to hit sub 46, and then, you know, now everyone has these benchmarks, and you could really tell what's what, you know, based on that. So this place is just real special, and a lot of it is the people that come out and the people that drive here. It's a great atmosphere every year, and you know we're at all these no matter what. It's like clear the calendar, doesn't matter what's going on, you're going to finals. So
yeah. That's definitely a cool thing about it. You know, is that you look back at the history for how many years that people have come here and set different benchmark times, like what you're referring to, and that is part of the allure, is that you could look back on just, if you're concentrating on just front wheel drive times, you could look back throughout the years in the different classes and how times it has gotten knocked down every year or every couple of years. You guys recently obviously are really pushing the envelope when it comes to front wheel drive in the limited class. What's the reason maybe for the jump just this past year?
I think when we started, I came on board the team. I know Corey and his dad were running it for a while, and they were doing the best they could. Corey didn't have a lot of experience. I sort of met them as a crazy fluke in town. Turned out they live like a block from me. I was like, what? Yeah, okay. So showed up. We had some conversations, and you know, I said, hey, you know, I've been doing this a while, I know how to build a car. This is what I think we should do if you guys really want to go forward. And we set attainable goals, and I think that was the key, was to say, you know, we're not going to just show up and think we're going to run a 45 day one. So we set what we thought would be, like, you know, stepping stones, and I think a lot of the success we've had is because we've sort of stuck our expectations realistically. And like I said, we're just trying to better ourselves, and where we land is where we land. Yep. But you can't help, like you're saying, you're like, oh, what's the fastest front wheel drive that's gone here? How far are we from them? And it, you know, it gives you that extra push. But
it sure does. Yeah.
we keep developing. You know, we find bugs. Like I said, you go fast, something happens. Okay, we got to figure that out. And then we got, you know, there's a whole team of people in the motor build and everything, and it's real nice that we can sort of lean on each other, and this is what happens. You start going faster and faster. But the good news is, for us at least, is the car it's it's fast, but we know we've got so much in it. We're just trying to be meticulous about what we're fixing. So,
awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna go quick. It's just a stepping stone, like I said.
Awesome. You know, that's a common theme. You know, is that it doesn't happen overnight. It's a long process, and it's a long game. If you want to be real fast in this thing, it doesn't happen overnight. I know Amir's out there on track right now. Let's just kick it back to Cuban here and find out what's going on. I know when Amir's on track, he's always chasing records. So let's see what he's up to out there. Thank you for your time, Will. I appreciate it. Good luck, and we'll see you at the next event. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you so much for that. Hey guys, during that interview, first of all, huge shout out to Will Drees and everything they've done in that WRD car. But Amir Bentatu with a 44.412 resets his own street class, rear wheel drive, and overall record. We have always surprising, didn't run faster than a 46 all weekend, just pulls it out of the hat right there. Very incredible. Great job to the RS Future team. And then a 44.5 right after, you know, just to solidify. We got Kyle Robertson and Gabriel Cabrera at a 50.135. They're trying to chase second place, but they're going to have to pull another 5/10 out of that car. They've pulled a little bit out, so that's great. Another couple hundredths out right now. Christopher Mayfield at a 51.6. They would have to match or beat Kyle Robertson to get on the podium. Jose Mejia with a 51.8. Robert Robles with a 54.5, and Noah Geither with a 56.6. Now, Noah's already winning an enthusiast class with a 55.5. He really wants to be sub 55.3 for the overall record, but to be fair, he just took the the enthusiast front wheel drive record down quite a few seconds, so he's really doing a great job out there. Here's Amir pushing to the limit. He may go for one more flyer. He already laid down 2 44s in a row. Let's see if he has another one in the bank. There you have Noah Geither. He was on a cooldown right there, a 2:13. I think he just wants to go for one more flyer. He is holding the record right now with a 55.5. I know he would love to have the enthusiast overall. It's awesome to hold the record for your drivetrain. It's even cooler to hold the record overall. Amir is going to be on a cooldown. He did 3 laps back to back, a 44, a 44, and a 45. That first 44 being a record again, 44.4. Let's see if Noah Geither has another record up his sleeve. He already holds the enthusiast front wheel drive. Can he also hold the enthusiast overall? It does look like Kyle Robertson and Gabriel Cabrera are pushing as hard as they can. They need 3, 4, 5 more tenths to take second place. Christopher Mayfield has really been pushing the car. You can see it out there. He really wants to get on that podium, but he needs to be able to match. Actually, he needs to be able to beat Kyle Robertson. So he needs to go faster than a 50.1. And here we have Group 3, Session 8 going out for their final session. Group 3, Session 8. Looks like Ariel Salazar leading out Craig Coker. There's Jeffrey Ting going out, trying his hardest to catch up to both Craig and Noah Geither. Aaron Gong, followed out by Richard Klein. Followed by Corey Kreider. Then we have Mark Yeager. We've seen faster lap times out of every class here in this final run of this event. So who's to say we won't see a few more times drop? I know that Craig Coker is trying to win overall. He was ahead of Noah Geither until Noah laid down that 55. I also know he's trying to defend his spot from Jeffrey Ting. So this is going to be a battle of him laying down one clean lap. He, just like Sean Cagle, cannot do two flyers. Sean, because the car just cannot do it based on the setup, and him because on his second lap it has diminished power over the first lap. Racing an electric car is cool, it's the future, but it does have its limitations. Unlike a petroleum powered car, which will give you the same power until you're out of gas, those electric vehicles will give you maximum power on the first lap and diminish the power over time. So I know he's going to want to try and lay down a really clean, really fast lap here because he knows himself that he does not have another lap after that. There we have the first laps of this session. Mr. Justin Casey and Ariel Salazar with a 155.758, followed by Craig Coker with a 156.729. Not enough to push past his fastest lap of the event, so he's going to sit in whatever position he lays out at. Jeffrey Ting has not pushed his time frame yet. He just did a 2-minute .354, followed by Rich Enriquez in a 2-minute .811. Jeff's car is set up to continuously do laps, so just like before, I'm sure we're going to see his lap times drop. He's going to have to really push this car to get into the 55s. Aaron Gong with a 2-minute .144, followed by Richard Klein with a 2-minute .246. These final sessions are probably some of the most beautiful sessions on camera. As you could see that car going through Riverside and the sun setting in the background. It's great for you folks out there watching, but it's really rough on the drivers. The light shift and change. I've been lucky enough to drive out there during sunset, and I'm sure the photos are great, but man, the sun is directly in your eyes, and no amount of visor is going to help that. We have Justin Casey and Ariel Salazar still fastest out here, 155.758. They did that on their first lap. Craig Coker at a 56.729. These aerial shots make it a lot easier for you guys not to get sun in your eyes, that's for sure, because the locked off camera looking at Riverside is just sun everywhere. Here we have the backside. You know, I'm gonna give you a quick little insight here. All the way out in the back corner over there is actually the new Buttonwillow track being built. This facility has become so popular that Buttonwillow is building an entire another track over there to the left. So can't wait to see how that turns out. We don't know if we're ever going to time attack there. Only time will tell, but it's awesome to see just tracking out here building up. You can actually see a little bit of the layout of that track over to the far left where it's being cut in. I'm not sure when they're going to open that up, but that should be coming very soon. It's nice in Southern California to see more tracks coming up. We're always afraid we're going to lose our tracks out here. Looks like Craig Coker is ready to try and lay another one. Though he always tells us the second lap is never as fast as the first, he wasn't happy with that one. I just saw him fly down the hot pit, so we're going to see him try and lay one more. Richard Klein with a 1:59.742 on that last lap. That's going to be his fastest of this session. There's Craig Coker in the background. That's a car you don't see very often do 2 laps. Honestly, in the entire session, I don't think I've seen him do 2 laps all day. So he's probably going to do a nice, calm warm-up, try and save as much of that battery as possible. I really think this is what we're going to be talking about 10, 15 years from now, battery-powered racing. I'm not going to put any opinion on that. I'm obviously a petrol head. I'm a big fan of gas-powered vehicles. But he's over here really proving that that 4,000-plus pound Tesla Model 3 can hang with these 3,000-pound imports. Pushing the car now. Does he have what it takes to do a 55 sub 5? I mean, he could even take the overall if he is capable of surpassing Noah Geither. He absolutely is taking the same aggressive lines he was before. He didn't go off through bus stop this time, so that's such a beautiful backdrop. Let's see if he's able to pull it out of the hat for this one. It does look like Jeffrey Ting got down to a 56.956. Good enough to keep him in third place, but unless he can pull a rabbit out of the hat, that's going to be where he stays. 56.878 from Craig, just a tenth slower than his first lap. So he's going to stick it out in second place in enthusiast class. It looks like we're pretty locked in right there. So it's been a good run for him. It's been a good run for the electric push here in enthusiast class. As the years go on, I know we're going to be seeing more and more of these cars, so it's good for him to set a very aggressive baseline. In case you were wondering what that differentiates or what kind of speed that is in the class, he holds the enthusiast all-wheel drive record right now in that car. So that alone will tell you this car is obviously moving. He does have the advantage of the electric powertrain, the instant torque off the corners. He has the disadvantage of really having to lay it down in that one lap, though. A lot of these folks will go out there and do lap after lap, run faster and faster, but he has to really lay it down on that lap. That was Rich Enriquez in his A90 Supra, a street class car, doing a 59.412. His fastest of this session is a 59.212. That's the 948 car, Justin Segbibit, with a 202.681. That's going to be his fastest of this session in his enthusiast class Honda S2000. Here's Aaron Gong. His fastest of this session is a 2.144. That's going to be a 225. So he either had an issue or had to cool it down in the back section, maybe trying to pick up another hot lap. Here we have Will Long in his R32 Skyline starting his first lap of his final session here at GTA Finals, followed by Jake Graham in his FA20 Subaru WRX. For those of you following, this is the final session of the final group of the final session of GTA Finals. A lot of the podium positions have been solidified. We'll get those up on screen for you in a little bit. Let's get some more of these cars around track, see what kind of times they can lay down. That's going to be Mr. Robert Medina, Dr. Black from Mexico in his Honda Civic. And here's Jesse Silinski. This is going to be his chance for redemption. We all know the times this car can run. We're hoping that he can just put it together and the car does what he asks it to do. I know you've heard me preach it, but when I see someone work that hard on a car and just have little issues here and there, keeping them from being able to do their overall fast lap, it just hurts the heart a little bit. So it's great to see these competitors continue to push. Also, Ian Crane in his Honda S2000 clock and start finish right now. Behind Mr. Crane, it looks like Brandon Luthi in his Volkswagen GTI. is, bus stop claiming another victim. It's a pretty rough one when you have that many people close to you. I'm not sure if he got out of it or he's sitting in the dust right now. I did not see him pull out. He did. He pulled out straight. He had 2 people on a flyer right behind him too, so that's pretty rough, but that's what happens when you're trying to push really hard through bus stop. Here we got Jake Graham going down the start-finish straight. We're in a 158.837 on his second lap. That was a 59.773, so about a second off his fastest lap of the session. Here's Ian Crane in his enthusiast class Honda S2000. Jake Graham pulling his fastest lap of this session with a 57.248. I believe that is actually his fastest lap of the event so far. It absolutely is. He has really been pulling it out. It's great to see them get that car together and be able to pull as much out of it as they can. You could tell they were just dealing with setup and trying to get that car faster and faster every session. So it's an internal win to pull a time like a 57.2 out during the final session. Jesse Silinski with a 59.850. Robert Medina with a 2:09.41. Will Long at a 2:01.712. Rob Campbell at a 2:05.461. Brandon Luthi pulling a 2:08.259, and Ian Crane also a 2:08.491. You got Jake Graham, one more lap where it's almost identical times back to back with a 57.7 on that one. That's going to be the end of Global Time Attack GTA Finals. Here are our standings. Noah Geither, first place enthusiast, 155.596, followed by Craig Coker at a 156.1 and Jeffrey Ting at a 56.923. That's going to be your podium and enthusiast class. In street class, it's Amir Bentatu with a 144.412, followed by a 149.534 with Mike Kang and a 150.120 by Kyle Robinson and Gabriel Cabrera. In limited class, once again, Amir Bentatu with a 45.3, followed closely by Will Drees at a 45.4. And in that final session, snatching third place away from Damien, we have Ray Guerrero and Zachary Sober with a 146.199. In unlimited class, Sean Cagle with a 141.378, Daijiro Yoshihara with a 146.240, and Wes and Marissa Hansen with a 147.148. Finally, to round out the field, we're going to have Pro Comp class. That's going to be Rick O'Donnell with a 54.499 and Mr. Nick Bright with a 2 flat .460. That's going to be the end of our on-track competition. We're going to go ahead and get set up for our award ceremony and podium. Be sure to stick around for that. We'll get that going as quickly as possible for you.
You got a radio up there? Yeah. All right, very cool. Thank you.
Side. Check, 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 check.
All right, guys. Hey, first of all, thank you so much for waiting. I know it's been a pretty hectic weekend. That light is very bright. Y'all waited for 2 days through some very serious fog delays. I personally blame Jackie Ding if he's here. There's the 2 years he came. You laid down some really good laps. We saw some chimes drop. Overall, you guys really pushed through it, so I appreciate it. So we're going to start with the fastest group and work our way down, okay? So first off, Unlimited Class. This is going to be 2 honorable mentions. Please don't come up if you're here. Gabriel Shadid with a 151 in 5th. Thank you so much. Leaf Store with a 147.4, 2/10 off 3rd place. Great job. Thanks for coming down. He's got some fans, all right? So in 3rd place with a 147.148, Wes and Marissa Hansen, Dangerous Enterprises. They have a proxy of Ravi because they had to drive back to Arizona. So huge shout out. Ravi's going to get them their trophy. He's going to get wet for him. It's going to be great. This is a 147.148, 3rd place. We did have some people, some attrition during practice, but it's great to see these people get out here and lay it down. 2nd place, the name everyone knows with a 146.240, the Evasive Motorsports Honda S2000, Mr. Daijiro Yoshihara. Dai, where you be? Oh, Dai always stays. Come on, Dai. I need a stand-in. Anybody. First person to come up. Jackie Ding. He's Dai's homie. Where's he at? All right, we'll get someone up here in a second. So 2nd place with a 46.240, Dai Yoshihara. 1st place with a 141.378 in his Caliber Custom Chevy Corvette, Mr. Sean Cagle. Big Sean. I think the best part about this is he looked like a midget during an interview for the first time in his life. Congratulations, guys. This is 1st place. Dai couldn't make it. 3rd place. This is your unlimited podium. I'm very unhappy because nobody's going to spray anyone right now. No, move along. Move along. Move along. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to street class, okay? We had a pretty decent field here in street class. I'm going to give an honorable mention. First off, in fourth place with a 150.575, Mr. Christopher Mayfield. If you're here, you pushed hard. You got super close. Great job. Third place with their JMP Auto Works Toyota Supra, Mr. Kyle Robinson and Gabriel Cabrera, car 842 with a 150.120. Street. This is your third place, 150.1. Great job, Kyle. He's got a strong mother. She said I mispronounced his name a couple times. Don't do that. Second place with a 149.534, Mr. Mike Kang, who will never be called an enthusiast class champion again. Great job, Mike. It's the Kang clause. We'll make a street class one now. 149.534. It is OEM Audio CSG spec Toyota Supra. And in first place, guys, last session of the day decided that his car that wasn't good enough to reset his own record with a 144.412. Mr. Amir Bentatun is Coil Rad RS Future NSX. And he didn't even get protested this year. Woo! Folks, this is your street class podium right here. Great job, guys. Great job. Can you hold up the trophies for photos, folks?
Yeah, I got a sprint.
Mr. Robinson wants nothing to do with this.
I don't want to close up. I won't get you.
He's fast on his feet too, guys. He's not just fast on track. Hey, don't go too far. I need you back up here, Amir, in a minute. That was your street class, folks. We're going to move on to limited class, okay? So I'm not sure if they're still here. They had a little issue, but I want to give two honorable mentions. First, 148.718 from Kevin Burke and his Rockstar Garage S2000. They blew a motor, put it back together, came here, and continuously dropped time. They have nothing but problems with that car, but this is the first time it stayed together, and it's proof that they're going to be going fast. Mad respect to the Rockstar guys and Kevin Burke. This one hurts because he got knocked out on the second to last lap of the last session. In fourth place with a 146.897, Damian Tuchiniski and the Renner Racing Development. Great job out there. Hope whatever issue you had, I hope you sorted out. You know I'd love you standing up here, but you lose today. All right, guys. Third place with a 146.199 in the Ray Lee Racing Dodge Viper, Mr. Ray Guerrero and Zachary Sober on the second to last lap of the event. Great job, guys. Great job. Second to last lap, Zach. You couldn't have done it earlier, you know? I mean, your Subaru never did it, but this Viper sure does. All right, guys, this is your third place. Second place, new. Second place with a new limited front-wheel drive record. We got Mr. Will Drees with a 145.479 WRD Racing Honda Prelude. To be clear, he was 1/10 off of being the very first front-wheel drive car to win limited class. I feel like an incident off track and a hole in the motor slowed that down, but mad respect to the time. You're really pushing that car, man. I love everything about it. First place, the man no one wants to see again with a 144.412, Mr. Amir Benatu. I'm sorry, 145. Hold on. 145.386 in the Motorsport Hardware LSM3. This is your limited class podium. Great job, guys. Hold the trophy up before you spray them here. You can get me after the trophies. I know what you're talking about. Just wait. Wait. Great job. Will literally is fast faster than the prelude. That's what happened right there, all right? Yo, wait a second. Okay, whoever's dog that was, mad respect. I don't know what's going on. Let's go ahead and move on to enthusiast class, guys. Usually, you know, this is the quote-unquote slower class. These guys were crushing it out here. The times are dropping every year, okay? So I'm going to give an honorable mention, 2 honorable mentions really quick. Aaron Gong in 5th. Aaron Gong in 5th place with a 158.938. Great job out there. Second honorable mention, Mr. Benjamin Sue with a 58.368. Those two were running really hard. They got close to the podium. Mad respect. Let's start with the actual podium spots, guys. With a 156.923 with his Auto-Tune Racing Honda Civic Type R, Mr. Jeffrey Ting. They got you, Pops. I saw it. Woo! Nowhere to be found, or the woman to kiss. He's got a wife and kids, guys. Come on. In 2nd place, and this one is a rough one for him because he was holding first for about 1 minute and 50 seconds until the next lap came around. With a 156.187 in his Unplugged Performance Tesla Model 3 Performance. This is also an enthusiast all-wheel drive record. You don't move till I call your name, sir. This is also an enthusiast all-wheel drive record. Mr. Craig Coker and his enthusiast. Oh, that's how the kid happened. They make pills for that. We had a premature detonation, guys. 3rd place, Jeffrey Ting with a 58.923. 2nd place with a 156.187 and a new enthusiast all-wheel drive record. 1st place, one of the most impressive times we've seen here, especially out of a front-wheel drive, but in general, the closest we've ever seen someone come to resetting the overall enthusiast record. We have a 155.596 out of the Reyes Racing Honda Civic Type R, Mr. Noah Geither. Congratulations. He was dropping time after time. Every session he went out, he went a little faster. We knew he could get in the 56s, but he got in the 55s, and he never told me how to pronounce his name correctly. We have Mr. Noah Geither right here. Here's your enthusiast class podium. Hey, he won last year. He should know how these things work. Only in enthusiast class do you take your own photos. Every other class gets pro photos. Enthusiasts, you take your own. Great job, guys. Congratulations. Hey, thank you to everyone that stuck around. It's been a really hectic event. All the love and respect. Hey, really quick, from all of you, huge shout out. Well, I'm going to do pro comp. A huge shout out to our staff over here. They've been busting their butts all week, and especially with the crazy, crazy times we've had with the actual rain out. Hey, pull up standings. Tell me the 2 pro comp times right now. All right, guys, we have one more class left. I lost second place. Guys, one more. Nicholas Bright with the Spoon Auto Sports. Nick Bright Racing over here, and him and Bobby Velasquez with the 200536 is our 2nd place in Pro Comp class. Give me the 1st place. This man over here supports us all the way from Texas, and he was in a car fire earlier. First place with a 154.499 and probably the coolest car out here, Mr. Rick O'Donnell and his Opel LS-powered monster. Where are you, sir? Good save, man. Good save. Yep. Hey, I got more to talk about. Don't you fucking dare. I got my hands full. Yeah. This is our pro comp, guys. Just so you know, Nick will be back in limited class at the end of next year with a full limited build. He says Corey Wells and Will Drees ain't got nothing on this. Hold the trophy up for photos first. Woo! I know the important ones. Hey-o! Great job, sir. Great job. All right, guys. So just want to give a huge shout out to all our competitors, all the fans that stayed. Big shout out to our sponsors out there, Yokohama Tire, Garrett, CSF Radiators, Meister Watches, DabX, the rest of them out there. Bigger shout out to SLB, Jason Deanhart right here, Mr. Uncle Tony, the guy everyone loves till they don't. Thank you so much. To anyone watching online, we'll go ahead and go to our standings so you can see everyone else's times. And thank you so much. GTA Finals out. Woo! Hey, thank you, man.
Another outstanding job, brother.
They got you.
You do. You homo. Good job.
I don't think he wants to go up. He's trying to get it. Buddy! All the way up, buddy. We're co-drivers. Co-drivers. Whoa! Outside. There we go. Here we go. Awesome. Hey, cheers. Nice work. Thank you. Team effort. Team effort. Cheers. Good job, guys. Take the rest of the week off. I just got a lot of work for us today. I couldn't see. It's all glare, man. I know. Got an extra box. Something I got this. Ramel. Hey, girl. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. How are you? I know, you're over there in like RV, not a garage. Y'all are fucking boots. Brandon! Yeah. Brandon! Let's go, Brandon! Yeah! Brandon, let's go! Come on! Brandon! Oh, there he is! Yeah! Run, Brandon, run! You gotta practice with your up here next year. You're gonna be up here next year. Yeah!
Nice, come on. That's awesome. No, but you do look like super proud. There you go. Oh, don't block your face. That's awesome. Okay, you got it.
Let's go. Brandon! Oh, there you go.
Good job.